Hey, thanks for following us at Van of Valor, where we are going to the doorsteps of Purple Heart recipients anywhere in the lower 48 to tell their story. Patriotism and sacrifice for this country is important in its foundation, and it's been part of this country to keep it free all of these years. And it's really important for us. So if you know a Purple Heart recipient out there who has a story they want to tell, shoot us an email and we'll come out and tell them. But we're here today with a very special man, a Purple Heart recipient, a shoot, maneuver, move infantryman from the United States Army, Ocie Gay, now currently a chaplain. Mr. Gay,
Yes.
tell us a little something about yourself.
Well, I don't have an exciting life, but first I want to, acknowledge all the other Purple Heart recipients and the families of those that passed on. And I'm from Louisiana, the small town called Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Okay.
I love it. A lot of historical things goes on there. Moved here 2018. My wife's a Charlestonian, and so we decided to retire here and make it our home. Just local.
Okay, I have a sort of sidebar question. So when we will be going to interview two, I think we have two on the list, Purple Heart recipients so far in Louisiana, neither in that town, but when we visit your town, Lagasha, you said?
Natchitoches.
Natchitoches.
Yes.
What should we do when we're there? Where should we have lunch in Natchitoches?
Well, it's always a front street. It's a restaurant called Lazion's.
Lazion's?
Yes, Lazion's.
Good Cajun?
Restaurant. Yes. They have some good food there. It's that's one of my friends too. His name is Daryl Walker. He's a Swedish restaurant, barbecue restaurant. He has two, one on the east side of town and one on the west side of town. So that's a good place for barbecue as well.
Okay. My wife behind the camera. Babe, I know where we're having lunch when we're in Louisiana, at least one of the days.
Yeah. Sweetie's Barbecue.
Sweetie's Barbecue with Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Can't wait to meet him and talk to him about you.
Yes.
So, about you, why did you join the Army and when did you join the
Well, I joined the Army in 1980, the late entry program. I joined actually a couple days after December. And so I was sitting about, had a conversation with some young soldiers my age, and they began to tell me like some of the things they were doing in the military. I find it intriguing because coming out of high school, I wasn't ready to go sit in 4 more years of schooling in the college settings. But talked to those young guys, and they made it sound exciting and everything till I got there.
Yeah.
But it was good coming down to Fort Benning, Georgia in the wintertime and ice everywhere. And I'm coming from a wet climate to a dry climate. And so that was a bit of a challenge.
And people from all over the country.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I remember that was the place I grew up in California was very, very remote, and coming to boot camp and meeting people from everywhere, from Maine to Florida to you name it. It was very eye opening to see how big this country is, and then it only grew for me from there. So fast forward, you're in AIT. Were you selected infantry in boot camp, or
I volunteered.
okay?
Yes.
Why infantry?
Kind of like reverse psychology. The recruiter told me I wasn't tough enough to be infantry, so he should be a cook. And so I'm like, I'm a football player. What are you talking about? And so I went infantry.
He baited you, maybe.
He did. No bait and switch. He got me. And I have, but honestly, have no regrets. It's been a wonderful assignment.
Yeah.
A lot of years, met lots of friends. And
where'd you get stationed out of AIT?
Schweinfurt, Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Schweinfurt, Germany. Went to Pigtown, they called it, and over there in 3rd ID, 3rd Infantry Division. And so we was down in Schweinfurt. It was 230 infantry. Then the battalion redesignated, changed to 515, 115, and I was with the 515. No, 115. We went to Saudi Arabia. I think it was 115.
Okay.
They switched it so much, so it might have been 515. We went to Saudi, and then that was it.
Yeah. And then did you deploy out of there, or?
I came back from once we came back from Gulf War in 1990.
Okay.
From there, I went to Fort Hood, Texas, and then I stayed at Fort Hood for a little while, and then I went to Korea, first tour, and after Korea, I came back to Fort Hood, Texas.
4th ID.
So I was in 19 Cap Buffalo Soldiers, my first tour in Fort Hood, Texas, and then my second tour when I came back from Korea, a Manchus, 19 Manchus, was 29 Manchus at the time. So when I came back to Korea to 2nd Battalion, 5th Cavalry Regiment, and 2-5 Cav. It was pretty good. By that time, I was Texas out. So, and after I left there, surprisingly, I went back to Korea. Just trying to get out of the area, but trying to get a different assignment. But like, oh, you go to Korea.
Yeah.
So I went to Korea, and I flew back. And I did a year in Korea again. I'm in 19 Cav this time. 19 infantry. So my first two, I'm in 29 infantryman 2. The second time I go to Korea, I'm in 19 infantryman 2. And so I flew in September 10th. And so I think it's a plane that
of
I was
01.
on.
Of 01.
Of 01.
I just realized the gravity of what you're saying.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
September. Okay, wow.
And so the plane I flew in the next morning, I think that was one of the planes that hit the building, but I wasn't sure. I was like, did I lose my ticket? But I came in that night on the international flight.
Yeah.
And so the next morning, we were talking about the planes that hit the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
And I was like, was that my ticket? Because I came through that way. I came from
gosh.
upstate down south.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Okay. And
well, thank God you're with us.
And then so the next day, I'm on leave right now. And so I was on leave. And then so the next thing, I go on Fort Hood, try to get on Fort Hood, and they got everything blocked off. And like, why are you in civilian clothes? I'm transitioning from Korea, but I'm stationed in Germany. I'm going to be stationed in Germany. They're like, no, you need to come home. You need to go sign in Fort Hood. I've done 2 tours in Fort Hood. There is no way I was going to sign in Fort Hood. I was like, that's not going to happen. And so I just laughed about it and everything. And, I was like, well, you need to get in uniform, Sergeant. And so I will go sign in San Antonio before I come to Fort Hood and sign in again. But then I had to take the first plane that was leaving international flight going to Germany.
Okay.
And so that was very interesting. They no knives and everything on the plane. That's my wife, Dr. Gay. And so they have, everything was, all the curtains was open and plastic, everything, no metal, anything. And it was a quiet flight, and everybody was, tensions were still high. Everybody was watching everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was pretty funny. So.
And then what was the transition from there to combat? Had you seen combat at that point?
Yes. I went to Gulf War.
Okay.
And so we had a little action over there, moving from Saudi Arabia on the way up to Kuwait. But it wasn't much because 100-hour war, they called it off real quick.
Yeah.
So by the time everybody's lining up and stuff, it's called. Then going to Iraq. So I was with O Ironside in Germany.
Yeah.
I was in 2-5 Cav. 2-6 infantry. So we went to Iraq, and our unit was attached to the tankers 264, and so we went to Baghdad area, Fort Head Palace, where all the dignitaries are located and stuff.
Okay.
And so normally we would run the guard posts out there, the gate guards, and the patrols around the area. And sometimes we would have to go to different locations to QRF and stuff. And I was the majority part of QRF with different members of my platoon.
Yeah.
And so just one day, we're standing at the gate because it was my platoon's turn. I was platoon sergeant. So it was my platoon turn to man the gates.
Okay.
And we got up there like maybe about 6:30.
Okay.
And we had a meeting that morning. I don't know why I woke my platoon up early, and we had a meeting about, we're taking over from another platoon, so let's make sure we're sharp, make sure everything is in place. So we actually went up like 10 minutes early.
Okay.
Observed their behavior, see how fast everything was moving through the gate. And so when we took on, when we assumed the gate, we slowed everything down.
Yeah.
To do more precise, detailed searches. And so about 6:30, so everybody started coming through the gate, and we're talking, and they're searching people, and I'm overwatching, just looking at my soldiers working. So I have pedestrians walking to my right side, cars coming in front of me, and then there's a search area to my left, but it's all kind of spaced out.
Yeah.
And so everybody knows that one car come through at a time. Well, the previous platoon just was letting them line up.
Wow.
And so with me, it's just I want one car in this area at a time. So when you get to that station over there, you clear, then we bring another one.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time they bring one car in, it was this Nissan truck. And he just kept creeping forward. And so I told the guy, hey, have him pull it back. To one of my soldiers, have him pull it back. Flanagan, Sergeant Flanagan. And so I had Sergeant Flanagan tell him to pull back. And so a lot of the people that were in line jumped on the back of the truck.
Mm. Okay.
And so they can do that because they're all workers.
Yeah.
And so they're getting the ride in. So they'll go to that section over there. And so we're just doing that. That's part of this I'm going to leave out on purpose.
But right now we got Sergeant Flanagan backing him up.
Yes.
People jumping in.
Yes,
Okay.
so people backing it, just jumping on the truck. And so Sergeant Flanagan turned and he was telling me something. And I was telling him that the truck is creeping forward.
Yeah.
And so he turned, he raised his weapon up in the truck bag back.
Mm-hmm.
And so he turned to tell me something about something with the vehicle in front of me. And so when he turned back around, the truck was creeping up and we both raised our weapon at the same time. And then the next thing you know, we both was flying through the sky.
Mm.
So it was like he had a 1,000-pound bomb within that truck.
Mm.
And so I guess it was the initial blast that knocked us away.
Mm.
And it was just like.
And all those people jumped in the back.
They all died. Yeah, 80-some people this way, busload of kids this way, and families, and death everywhere. And just like.
Sergeant Flanagan, is he with us?
He's with us.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. Thankfully.
Where does he live? We're going to go talk to him.
He lives in, I actually don't know. I know it's in Midwest or somewhere.
Hit him up on Facebook and tell him, hey, talk to these guys.
Yeah, so he's a good guy. A lot of my soldiers that was with me, a lot of them got injured as well. So.
Sorry to hear it.
Yeah, but everybody's doing well. Everybody's doing well.
Do you remember anything after the blast? It was just.
No, it took me a while. It took me a while to remember. Had a little concussion and you know.
When you came to, it was chaos?
Oh, it was chaos. Yes, it was. It was chaos. It was everything
secure? Was there?
We were the security, and so you know, the guys that were not right there where we were, they came up, and then we had the units, our regular unit. Everybody else rushed up to help secure the gate and everything like that. So.
And behind you was probably half a division of people that you were keeping safe.
Yes. And so, we had, but you know, thing about combat is there is always measures in place for what ifs. And so when we got blew up at the gate, my company was, our actually where we were staying in the palace was close to the gate. And so they made it up there in record time.
Yeah. They
made it up there and they helped us secure things, casualties off and everything like that. Dead bodies. Bag and tag everybody. So,
is there a direct connection or even a juxtaposition between that incident and you becoming a chaplain?
No.
No, this was something different. Okay.
Yeah, something totally different.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was still the shoot, move, communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was all infantry focused at the time. So after I retired, then I became a chaplain.
Okay.
Yeah.
You completed 20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 23. And my wife did 20. Yeah. So
Army
both.
I saw the soldier out front.
Yeah,
saluting.
that's hers. That's hers.
Army.
Yeah.
Children in the Army?
Yeah, we have two that went in the military. They also got out as well.
Okay. Parents?
Yeah. For my parents?
Yeah, military? Or?
Oh, no. Parents wasn't military.
Yeah.
Regular civilians.
A very, very military family.
Mm-hmm.
Very patriotic family.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mine's the same way. There's World War II until me and one of my brothers. But yeah.
But you know, being blown up in a car bomb, there's a lot of things that I couldn't see during the time that the incident was occurring, and so after years later, like now, I can really think back and think about what everybody was doing, and how everybody was positioned, and it's just like. I can honestly say that everybody was doing what they were supposed to do, but you cannot. There are some things you just cannot prevent.
Yeah.
And a suicide bomber is hard to prevent because they're going to try to make their way as close as they can to you. And you know, granted, And I think that the enemy in this situation had timed the platoon previous to mine, and so they had it timed how long it would take the vehicles to get through the gate. But because I came on, my platoon came on, the Wild Bunch platoon, and we slowed everything down.
The Wild Bunch platoon.
Yes, the Wild Bunch platoon. And so we slowed everything down. That one car would take about 10, 15 minutes to get through the gate because we're doing thorough searches.
So you disrupted what their goal was and potentially saved a lot more.
Yes, because a platoon may stay up there a week at a time.
Yeah.
And so you've been watching them the entire week.
Yeah, the gate probably wasn't the target.
And so you have your rhythm down. And you know exactly how much time it takes to get your people through checkpoint A to B. And so honestly, the target was probably the Four Heads Palace.
Yeah.
And so where all the dignitaries, Bremer and everybody was at. So
but thanks to the professionalism of you and Sergeant Flanagan and the rest of your platoon.
Yeah. I remember General Sanchez had just came through the gate. And he was actually the first one back on the gate before my company was. Because he had just passed through the gate. And so
you had a general on QRF.
Him and his team passed because they was going to a meeting at the Four Heads Palace. And so they passed through the gate.
Turned around, came back to help.
Came right back.
That's a good general.
Yeah, it was.
General Sanchez.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, sir, if you're watching this.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Right.
What an incredible story.
Yeah. But I look at it like I was blessed. God protected me. Being a man of faith, God protected me. It wasn't nothing per se that I could have done on my own with a bomb that weighs 1,000 pounds and it leaves a big crater in the ground and kills everything in every direction. And I was just saying, thank God somebody must have packed that bomb the wrong way, because how the blast went out. And so,
yeah. A lot of people I know, when they think about the trauma they carry and the moral injuries and things after war, they call them demons. Very specific word. And you, as a chaplain, you just attributed everything, the survival, to God. As a nonprofit, we really can't get in, too much in that. But it's just very profound, these choices of words. And as a chaplain, do you often help other veterans deal with their demons?
Yes.
You see a lot of them.
Yes.
You're still serving.
Yes. And I have my own, things. I make flashbacks and things like that. I have flashbacks of that day.
Yeah.
Because I see all the lives lost. I see all the bodies burned up. And just even if I'm just sitting sometime, I will have those flashbacks. And I see there was the projects next to us. We call it projects. But all those kids had just got on that school bus. And all those kids died. And you see the hurt on the family screaming and crying. And then you see, after everything is over, you see a big bulldozer just come scoop everybody up. Just scoop them up, throw them in a big truck. Bodies are in those cars. Husband, wives, kids, everybody's burnt, charred. And there's another group that was with them too. I just won't say their name. They was Americans. And sorry for their loss as well. Yeah, but they was closer to that bomb than everybody. Well, we all was standing side by side.
Yeah.
But they lost all their people. Yeah.
Where does a chaplain go when you need help? You're carrying on.
That's most
other chaplains.
Okay. Another chaplain.
Okay. I always wondered that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I always thought they carry a lot, but you already have a lot.
Yeah, you have to talk to other people as well. And I even go to mental health counseling. Yeah, I go to mental health counseling at the VA every week to talk to a counselor, because you have to download it. You just can't walk around on it. And one of the things that after all this was over, said and done, and I just kept hearing, like, when I got blew up and I was unconscious and everything, and then I just kept hearing subconsciously, get up, warrior, get up, warrior. And so that has been my motto throughout life. Get up, warrior, just get up. And, you fall off a bicycle, you don't stop.
Yeah.
You get back on it and you want to ride your bike and you do those things. And so I look at it in the context of a lot of us soldiers, we lose who we are and what we like to do when we go to combat. And so what I used to do before I went to combat, I have no idea. And so coming back, I just had to reinvent the things I like to do. And so I know I used to like to go to events, outings, and things like that. Now I'm just like, nah, I don't really care for
A lot of people.
large crowds. You're gonna have some crowds when you go places, but some crowds are just like, no, I don't know if I want to go. So I do have my everyday veteran struggle with combat and PTSD and things like that as well. But I always say to myself, I don't want to give it 24 hours of my day. I understand that we all as veterans have issues, but don't give it 24 hours of your day. Have moments, have minutes, but get your day back.
Okay. Golden words, Chaplain. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
From a man who lived it in combat as an infantryman, now chaplain. Those are words, if you're listening, you need to heed. If you're out there struggling, you've heard it from the mouth of a chaplain and a combat veteran, Ocie Gay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to say to?
No, I always want to give a shout out to my platoon, the Wild Bunch platoon. Sergeant Doble, DeMille, Matthews, Fortis, Finley, Giscombe is passed on, and all the rest of the platoon guys that was in there, and my entire company, Alpha Company 26 Infantry, great leaders, Captain Nauman, Lazor, First Sergeant Mapes. So it's a great platoon. Second platoon, third platoon. I was first platoon sergeant.
Okay.
And my platoon was the Wild Bunch platoon, and we lived up to that name.
Yeah.
The Wild Bunch platoon. And so my combat call sign is Red 3.
And they're all probably wearing combat infantry badges or combat action badges, and
everybody's civilians now, living a good life, working, doing productive things in society. And
that's what it's about.
Yes.
Well, thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for talking to Van of Valor today. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for being a chaplain. My wife's telling me something. What, babe? And about patriotism. So, if you were talking to, let's say if you had the ear of every high school senior in this nation today, and you can talk to them about what it means to be a patriot, what would you tell them?
It's a good thing. Well, and now that I have served, and people look at it like, to me, if you want to, it's no greater feeling really to serve your country. Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. But to all the high school kids or college kids that may think about coming into the armed forces, it'll be one of the best moves you can ever make in your life. Even if you don't stay 20 years or whatever, do your 4 years, honor yourself, honor your country, and serve. Service is the best thing you can ever do in life. Serve others. That's it.